time to meet our players. Would you please welcome from New Zealand, a four-time representative of his home country at the PDC World Cup of Darts. It's Coach Star Cody Harris.
Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd from the melee. No quick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Take a genius to understand me.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah.
Opponent from St. Helens, England, a former UK Open and World Grand Prix semi-finalist, a former World Masters champion, and the 2014 Lakeside World Darts champion. It's the Bullet, Stephen Bunting! And ladies and gentlemen, would you please show your appreciation for our referee of those first two afternoon matches. It's the one, the only, the voice, Russ Spray.
Hello and welcome to Copenhagen, the Brøndby Halle, here in Denmark for day two of the Danish Darts Open. The European Tour continues here in Denmark. This particular leg of this phenomenal circuit of professional sport will not feature the world #1 Michael van Gerwen, but who cares? Because look at the talent we have on show. Ian White is the top seed. He is an incredible run on the European circuit, having won the last two events and made the two finals prior to that. We have got the world #2, Rob Cross, in action. Peter Snakebite Wright, fresh from his win at the World Cup of Darts. Title winners this year, James Wade, Gerwyn Price, Dave Chisnell and Daryl Gurney. But we start, and there's a real international flavour to the action today, more than a dozen different nationalities represented, with the first New Zealander ever to feature on the European Tour, Cody Harris, against a former champion of the world in the Bullet, Stephen Bunting. Here at the Brøndby Halle, we've got a sizable crowd who have been very vocal already today. They were raucous last night in support of their man, Niels Jorgen, who did go out, but they've got Per Larsen to cheer on today. Alongside me in the commentary box for the opening game is Rob Malone.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg, Cody to throw first. Game on!
Yeah, the stage is set. It's all perfectly set up for what should be a cracking day of darts and a cracking afternoon session to start things off. Cody Harris recently guiding New Zealand to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, his fourth World Cup campaign. It was one to remember for him, and as Dan said, the first New Zealander to play on the European Tour. He has played, by my calculations, 6 matches to get to this second round stage, 5 in qualifying, 1 yesterday, and he's rattled in the first 180 of the match as well. And in each and every one of those 6 matches that he's played to get here, he has not lost more than 2 legs in any of them. As Bunting threatens to hit back, he beat Christian Gödel of Austria 6-2 in his third round of qualifying in the associate members qualifying programme. But elsewhere, 6-1 wins, 6-0 win against Raymond Hurrebrink, and a 6-1 demolition yesterday of Teuvo Havarinen of Finland. And it's still a mystery to me how he actually lost 1 leg against the Finn, who mustered an average of just 60.77.
Cody require 104.
Teuvo, was it? It's a good start to this one from the Code Star, looking for a 54. Gets the 54, looking for 32. Gets the 32. 12 dart start for Cody Harris.
Yeah, well, we made the point yesterday, Paul Nicholson and I, that, OK, Cody Harris averaged only 80.63 himself in that win over Havarinen. His doubles really let him down. He was 6 from 27. But we both felt that perhaps Harris had just been disrupted by the rhythm of Havarinen and just never really got going, and maybe just to an extent was brought down to his level a little bit.
Look, if you're playing someone who's having a mare, you've got to do all the running, haven't you? You know, you those legs where you've had a poor scoring leg, they're not going to go out in 15 darts, so it's down to you to plod on, and it drags your average down. You know, if they go out, like Cody Harris has just gone out in 12 darts there against Stephen Bunting. Bunting was not going to win that leg. Doesn't really matter what he's done. But if Cody Harris had been messing about with a 25 dart leg, then Bunting would have had to keep on plodding, and everybody's average gets dragged down, and you feel like you're playing poorly. It's difficult playing somebody who's having a shocker.
Yeah, Harris yesterday, you could just sense he was just trying all the time just to inject a little bit of pace. And we said as well that he was a player who is capable of so much better than what he produced yesterday. And it's great to see him finally making his long overdue appearance on the European Tour stage. A man who has sacrificed so much. He's a father of 5. He's had to make the move over to the UK. He's left his family behind in New Zealand. And the goal is to inspire others to take up the sport. He's obviously a trailblazer, a pioneer for darts in New Zealand. It's such a massive sport in that part of the world as well.
Well, he was saying after last weekend that he believes that over the next few years, New Zealand does have the talent to become World Cup of Darts champions. Somebody just banged a gong in here. What was that? He really does believe in himself. He has, as you say, sacrificed a lot to follow his dream of being a top dart player. He's thinking about basing himself in mainland Europe. Thinking about Germany. Bunting is not going to take the 104 like Harris took out in the first leg. Harris has got a chance here. 19 segment first. Now he wants treble 20 and bull. This is for 2-0.
84.
Well, in the end, it was a single 5 for Cody Harris, who was some way from the red button. So Bunting has a chance to step in and hoover up this 56. Flyer with the first dart, and the second dart was off target as well. And Harris now looking at a more manageable 45 for a 2-0 lead.
Pinned it first dart, last leg. Pinned it first dart, this leg. Cody Harris finds himself 2-0 up here, and Stephen Bunting is in danger of a 6th consecutive defeat here today. The Bullet has not had an easy time of things. He made the final day of the Austrian Darts Open on the European Tour last month, was beaten by MVG quite convincingly.
96.
But then he was a first-round loser in the European Darts Grand Prix. He went out in round 1 in both Players' Championship events in Barnsley to the young Northern Irishman Nathan Rafferty and Kirk Shepherd, who we will see today. And he also lost to Brendan Dolan in his opening game at the Dutch Darts Masters. So it's been quite a while. You're going back to the 4th of May for the last time that Stephen Bunting won a ranking game in PDC Darts.
Yeah, a lot has happened since then as well. And Cody Harris showing no signs of letting up so far. Down to a finish first once again, this time on his throw. He has the break, he has a 2-0 lead, and he's looking good here. And Bunting is having to summon up some sort of a response. Good use of the 19s there from Bunting, but Harris looking at the 161.
$93. Stephen, you require 132.
12 darter. Does not get a go at the bullseye. Cody Harris could get 2 darts at double 4. May get a dart at double 16. He's pinned double 16, 2 out of 2. But it's double 4 he wants. Good guide.
16.
Failed to use
Stephen,
it.
you require 28.
And Cody Harris May well be left to reflect on missed opportunities. Bunting, though, needing double 7, and that's a little bit awkward as well, but no problem in the end for the Bullet, who breaks back straight away for 2-1.
Full leg, Stephen at throw first. Game on.
Yeah, probably helped there, Stephen Bunting, by the fact he stands so far over on the right-hand side that there was an angle into that double 7. Still didn't have a lot of it to hit.
60.
Found the target, and a vital one as well, because had he gone 3-0 down there, you'd make Cody Harris a big favourite to win this game.
Yeah, it's all about how Cody Harris responds to that little setback. Bunting has been fairly busy, though, even though he's not been winning matches of late. He recently staged and organised the inaugural St Helens Classic, a tournament won by Kevin McDine, of all people. He beat James Richardson, Ryan Joyce and Mark McGean. He put in some good averages that weekend, did McDine, actually. So Bunting turning into a bit of an impresario over the weekend recently. But you mentioned those back-to-back defeats on the Pro Tour, and they certainly don't stand alone. 10 first-round defeats out of 16 on the Pro Tour this year for Stephen Bunting. Although he did make the final of one of those Players' Championship tournaments fairly recently. That was at the start of last month, in which he was beaten by Jeffrey Desvan.
66.
But since then, very little for fans of Stephen Bunting to get excited about. But Bunting is a player. I mean, he's shown time and time again how good he can be in patches. But he knows himself, it's all about the consistency. He knows he's good enough, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't keep on putting himself through all this if he didn't think he was good enough. But he feels he has the capabilities, and maybe, just maybe, this is the tournament where things come good again. But he's got work to do here.
Well, he's probably still favourite for this
93.
leg.
Cody,
But there is a chance here.
Ooh, stray left.
44. Stephen, you require 58.
The concern there for Harris was that he couldn't keep straight, at least. Anyway, tops for Bunting to level things up, and that's more like it from the Bullet, 2 apiece.
Fifth leg, Cody to throw first.
Well, Cody Harris doing all the running in the opening couple of legs. Stephen Bunting hitting back. Level game at 2 apiece. The winner of this faces either Ryan Harrington, who came through a really severe examination yesterday against the host nation qualifier, Niels Jorgen Hansen, or Gerwyn Price, who is one of the form players in the world this year, playing incredible stuff. Really looking forward to seeing Gerwyn Price this weekend. He had a terrific go at it in Zwolle, didn't he? That epic semi-final against Michael van Gerwen. Very unfortunate to lose that one. And maybe looking to put things right after last weekend's disappointments at the World Cup in Hamburg when Wales were beaten in the first round. Yeah, his World Cup teammate Johnny Clayton on the way this afternoon. Third game on against Per Larsen. That is going to be tricky for the Ferret. This crowd will definitely get behind their man. They've already been exercising their vocal cords in the build-up to this. Last year was the first year we came to Copenhagen, and they were pretty raucous then. Mensur Suljovic walked away with the title. I'm expecting similar today. Yeah, they were queuing outside at around about 9:30. The first batch of fans jumped out of this wagon at about 9:30 this morning, and they've been waiting patiently. A wagon? It was like an army wagon. It was like out of MASH. It was brilliant. And it was almost like a TARDIS as well, because it looked quite... It's like a clown car, though. It was small, and then, yeah, it was like the Anthill mob suddenly number of Danish darts fans
got out, yeah. In the wacky races. And then they got out the portable chairs, they set up base camp outside, and 2.5 hours later the doors opened and in they came. Terrific commitment. I think actually it's that group there wearing the red and white
require 164
paraphernalia. Straight to the early access, straight to the front of the stage, or just behind the stage.
Bullseye!
128.
Not a bad lead.
Cody, you require 20.
It may well count for nothing in the long run, because Harris is now looking at double 10.
Whoa! Get nothing for that, Cody.
That's
more like it.
Flag.
Excellent guide, that first dart, Cody.
Flag, Stephen at front first. Game on. 95.
Cody Harris, his demeanour is not going to change, irrespective of the situation. He could hit 3 9-darters in a row, and I think he'll still just saunter about the place. But it also means if Bunting hits 3 9-darters at him, he's not going to panic, not outwardly anyway. Very much like the Kiwi bird of his native New Zealand, he is unflappable. They've got no wings, you see. That's basically what that means.
It's a bit of a hindrance when it comes to flying.
Yes, it is.
140.
Some 40 for Bunting. Harris should have been using the 18s from this situation, because a ton 40 would have left him a bogey number, but it doesn't matter anyway, only came away with a 1 treble. All about the setup shots. Bunting's is not good.
Yeah, there's a chance here for Cody if he can post something significant here. That's an excellent camera angle just to illustrate how beautifully straight he was with those first 2 darts.
85 left. Tried to leave tops, but he's left 70. Now then, Stephen Bunting. Is it as easy as A, B, C? A, B. Not quite C and 3-3.
Cody requires 70.
Ooh, well, he's found the trouble anyway. 9, he was a long way off.
61. Stephen, you require 25.
He did get a dart at the outer ring, which is what he was after, but it wasn't the double that he wanted at the start of the visit.
No, it rather derailed him a little bit. 4 though for Bunting to square things up once again, and Harris has another
Cody
opportunity.
Require 9.
Now he's had a good look at 4 already today, has Cody Harris.
1 score.
And the finishing is just proving a little bit awry, isn't it? The 10 that he took out was with his second dart after a very wide first dart, and he was some way off the mark there as well. That's closer for Stephen Bunting. And that will settle him down once again. Couldn't afford to squander another leg and find himself 4-2 down, still in the frame at 3-3.
Well, he's a lucky boy, Stephen Bunting, because on his own throw there, he's been allowed to get away with a 21-darter. Yes, he's missed a couple of darts here and there to win legs that he's lost, but he's dodged a bullet.
And having dodged that bullet, he's made the perfect start to leg 7.
First 180 of the game for the bullet.
96.
So often you see it, players in tight games like this, they get away, manage to hold their throw, surviving a bunch of darts to break, and then the very next leg they break themselves. It's almost like the player who's sensed an opportunity and then squandered it. They're just too busy thinking about that previous leg to really knuckle down on their own. And Bunting's stolen the darts here. If he just stays straight, pick up 1 treble per visit, and he's going to do that. He's going to do better than that. Much better than that.
Real pressure on the Harris throw now.
140.
That's a good response though by Cody Harris. 81. He's down to a finish of 105, but the question is whether Bunting can finish the deal here and now. He wants the bullseye, and he finds the bullseye. Devastating dart from Stephen Bunting. Gets the break in leg 7. And for the first time in this match, Bunting leads 4-3.
Well, you see, Stephen Bunting, the worst leg of the match, and he gets away with it and then produces as good a leg as we've seen. And he leads for the first time in this one.
100.
You see, Harris has been ticking along at around that low 90 average for most of this game.
60.
This is not particularly good from Stephen Bunting, if we're honest. But the thing is, when you haven't won a game for a month in a ranking tournament, you will take any win you can get.
100.
And who knows, it could be just one scrappy victory. It'll give him an opportunity to then go and show what he can really do tomorrow, if he can close this out.
60.
That is no given against Cody Harris, who is a guy who is playing his trade on the Challenge Tour, making up the numbers on the Pro Tour when he has the opportunity.
100.
First player from New Zealand to play on the European Tour, and he does have this ability to throw that 100 average. And he will improve the more he plays on the circuit. The more you see him do stuff like this.
Yeah, he averaged 104 in his final qualifier against Kevin Munch, beating the Germans 6-1. Bunting, 41 away, double 16 for a 5-3 lead. And that's more like it from Stephen Bunting. There's a nice fluidity about the way he's playing now. An 81 checkout in leg 7, a 101 there, and he's one away from a place in round 3. Once again, he made the last 16 here 12 months ago, and he's the firm favourite now.
100.
Won 5 of the last 6 legs, Stephen Bunting. And he missed a dart in the one that he lost. It's not been plain sailing for him, but there have been some good signs from the bullet.
60. $59. 98.
Doesn't need to stay on the treble 20.
97.
I'm not really sure why he moved across the oche to go for the treble 19 when there's nothing in the way.
137.
Leaves 106. He's already taken out 104 in this game, Cody Harris. Bunting's not going to leave a finish, so he needs to go right
Cody
now.
require
The trebles have just
106.
dried up in this leg for Stephen Bunting a little bit, but no immense damage done so far. Yep, he's got the treble, so double 60.
74.
That's more like it. Maybe a case of too little too late for
Cody
Bunting as far as this leg is
32.
concerned. But Harris looking at double 16, and Harris finding double 16.
Cody Harris,
And if
10th leg,
Bunting
Stephen
wants
in
to finish the
front
job, he'll
first.
have to do it on his
Game
throat.
on.
Well, either Stephen Bunting closes this out and goes through 6-4 for his first
100.
ranking win in a month, or Cody Harris will throw for the match in the last leg decider. One of the two.
$100.
Darren Webster and Jose de Sousa on the way next in our second match of the day.
95.
De Sousa, one of the eye-catching performers in the first round action on Friday.
Yeah, the first Portuguese player to play on the Euro Tour and the first Portuguese player to win on the Euro Tour yesterday. Very much like Cody Harris was the first New Zealander to do both of those things yesterday.
Harris just issuing a few reminders to Stephen Bunting in this leg as well.
99.
That was a very important final dart for Stephen Bunting. Just about keeps him in front, although Harris could do with staying away from there and there.
Not the time for this visit.
68.
Rescued. Neck and neck. You get the feeling both players could get darts to win this leg. And whoever wins this leg, well,
60.
Stephen Bunting wins this leg, wins the match. Cody Harris wins this leg, and he becomes the red-hot favourite.
which he wasn't at the start of play today. He was very much the outsider, 2-1 with the bookies also. Bunting a 5-2 on favourite across the board. And Harris in great shape now to take us all the way to an 11th and deciding leg in our opening match here in Copenhagen.
He is going to get darts to force an 11th leg.
95. Cody requires
Single
53.
13 for Cody Harris. Oh, well, he's gone the 17 to leave double 18. The switch to double 9.
44.
And as Cody Harris blown his chance, because Stephen Bunting, who hadn't won a game on the PDC circuit for more than a month, is looking at double 16 to complete a 6-4 win. And you see the celebration, you see what it means to him. The bullet is in the final day of the Danish Darts Open and will take on either Ryan Harrington or Gerwyn Price. That is your first game done and dusted. Coming up, we've got Darren Webster, the number 15 seed, against the Portuguese José de Sousa, who is playing some spectacular darts in his debut year on the PDC.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Cody Harris. That was an edgy start to the game, but you seem to find your rhythm the next gear, halfway through the match, really.
If I could swear, I would say my bottom is gone. It was a difficult match. I think I knew I needed to win that game to give myself a chance to be in a match play. So, really nervous. I'm going to wear new shoes tomorrow, I'll be fine.
But we've got to say, the welcome that you received today from this Copenhagen crowd is absolutely unbelievable.
Unbelievable, and you know what, I don't think without them I'd have probably got through that. I was struggling, and they started shouting my name and stuff, and listen, I want to thank each and every one of you for cheering for me. It's lovely to be back in Copenhagen. I absolutely love it here. Unfortunately, I can't go to the fair this year, so I can't go back to Tivoli Gardens because I'm playing tomorrow, but hopefully soon I'll get stuck on a ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for the bullet, Stephen Bunting.